Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Monday. Happy Valentines. What an interesting day for Valentines to land, right? I mean, I don't know why. I'm sure every X amount of years it happens anyway. But happy Monday. This could be a good start to a Monday. I know. There's some of you out there going, shut up. I'm single. I hate Mondays, and now I hate Monday even more. Well, I am in your boat, my friends, but you can hate Monday or you can embrace it for what it is. You can hate the day or you can embrace it for what it is. You know, there are a lot of different things people can do. You can do Galentines for girls, Palentines for boys. You can just, celebrate with your pets. I know, right? Don't take your dog out for a walk, or there's all different sorts of things. Sorry, I didn't realize I accidentally ran my thumb over my glasses. There are a lot of things you can do on this day. It doesn't have to be sad. So you're probably thinking, boy, woman, you're talking out of your ear. I am not. All right, I have made it a sport to have never had an opportunity to celebrate Valentine's. I did look back though, and I lied, and I didn't mean to, but while doing some of my shadow work, I realized that with my first long-term boyfriend, he did take me out once, but I think the reason I didn't remember Valentine's Day is because he pretty much argued with everybody in the waiter, the seating guy, and it was just one of those things that just felt like an appeasement, more than a date. So, not that it's a bad thing, and I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying, sometimes you just gotta do your own thing, all right? Boy, I think I made it worse. Sometimes you just gotta do your own thing. You just gotta go out there, do what you gotta do. Baby sibling is going out with her children tonight. She has 2 dates, her boys. This is about as Valentine's-y as I'm going to get, but I actually like this scarf. Totally does not match my outfit. Well, I guess the colors do, but good morning, baby sibling. Oh, apparently it's also Arizona Statehood Day. So there you go. If you don't have a date, celebrate Arizona. There you go. Like 100-something years old now. So, thank you. So there you go. I'm actually going to do the romance cards today because, it's Valentine's. But again, like I said, look, I get it. Valentine's can be hard. We can look at everybody and say, wow, they have a date. Or some people look at it like, oh, it's a manufactured holiday. Actually, it is not a manufactured holiday. And I'm going to go over some of those things. It turned into a manufactured holiday. But turns out it is, well, it's not even really a holiday because we have to work. But, or you don't have the day off. But technically, this goes back a few centuries, and I'm gonna cover a few things, and on top of that, I'm gonna put these links in the comments, okay? Because I took all my 411 from this, and most of it came from the historychannel.com and or history.com. So even they said, we may not be accurate. If you find something wrong with our information, let us know. So, sibling and baby sibling, happy Galentine's Day and happy Valentine's Day. I know we like to put the emphasis on Galentines and Palentines, but come on, let's just call the day for what it is. It's Valentine's, and although, yes, it is considered to be a romantic day for a lot of people, or people who want to either propose to someone, or maybe they're getting married, or maybe they're just going out for their first date, or maybe it's their first Valentine's. It could even be that, someone is expressing their feelings to somebody for the first time and hoping it all turns out well. We put a lot of that emphasis on it, which is true. I mean, it's kind of the whole point of the day, right? And I'll get into some of the facts about that to explain that. However, this could also be the perfect day for you to have Valentine's Day with yourself. So last Thursday, I pulled some cards. I'm still waiting for cards to come out of this deck. But last Thursday, I pulled myself some cards because I was just told, grab your Romance Angels deck, pull some cards, and, let's shoot this out there. And I pulled the cards up in this order. New love, stay optimistic, love yourself first. Okay? But then I thought, well, that's weird. But then I kind of put the cards down. And it's kind of like, those movies where you see these like genius math guys and all of a sudden, they highlight what they see so you can see it as the viewer. That's what happened with these cards. And I realized when I reversed them, love yourself first, stay optimistic about your love life, new love. Each one in that order, to me, can be the perfect formula for success. Okay, and I'm going to go into that in a sec, but let's try and pull some cards here first. So let's see. Oh, there's two. Let's see. One more shuffle. See what we get. All right, 4. All right, that's good, right? 4. Also, there was an interesting little tidbit and fun fact, and I have to tell you, I think just because it made me giggle, I know, I'm such a child sometimes, it might be my favorite fun fact about Valentines. So anyways, oh my God, love yourself first. Hey, see, this is what I'm talking about. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Okay, now, just so you know, this is the deck I'm using, the Romance Angels. I like this deck. I don't use it that often because but here, love yourself first. I know it's backwards, but you can see all the cherubs up in the sky over there and the cupids, and you have, actually, I didn't even notice that one. Yeah, little cupid down here shooting his arrow. And you have the guy and the woman, or whatever your preference is. Okay, this is just what the card shows. But I guess I'm getting into it now. What I was going to get into later. When you learn to love yourself, now I'm going to put this out there because I have seen people who have terrible self-love that end up finding the love of their lives. Okay. So it can happen even if you do not love yourself first, because it may be that in this lifetime, and yes, I believe in multiple lifetimes, it may be in this lifetime, this person has come here to help you discover this. Okay. Now, there are times when you're going to go through things in this life that are going to rip your self-love away from you. You're going to think you're not worth it. You're going to think you're not special enough because of things that may have happened to you. Maybe your brain got rewired or something. As it's hitting my brain, so just humor me here. I'm thinking that sometimes maybe the people that lack this self-love may have struggled with this throughout different lifetimes. Okay, I'm going there. And they might need this person there to show them, hey, look, you were worthy of this. You were definitely, worthy of this. And even if you are the person that has to find this love yourself, self-love first before you find something, or at least get on the path of it before you find someone, you may not have struggled with that in the past. And so now it's basically telling you that you have to heal whatever hurt you before. Whether it was, maybe bad relationships in the past, maybe there's trauma in your past, maybe there's physical, emotional, sexual abuse in your past. Whatever these things are, this is why this card is coming up. Because if you can't love yourself first, there will be triggers. I have a friend who recently went through a breakup of their marriage, and one of her triggers popped up in her new relationship. And to be honest with you, I'm not using names, but I am sharing this. But one of the things that popped up, their significant other, she didn't say anything to them right away. And so, it kind of became like, they texted me, and it's kind of like, well, these are the kind of things that they're talking about. Now, he was like, when this happens again, communicate with me. We'll work through it together. And that is why that relationship works. They have communication. He's teaching her to communicate more because this wasn't something that she had in her past relationship. And it's a learning curve. It really is. So communication is definitely key. But when it talks about loving yourself first, this is one of the things it's talking about. That you are worthy, that even when bad things happen, you are going to find the tools to get yourself through it. Okay, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a new relationship, we're going to stay on the happy side here. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on the more obvious things like breakups or starting something new, or just being single for a while and learning how to love yourself. Okay, so here's the deal. I had a thought and then I forgot it, so there is no deal. But yeah. Oh no, that's what it was. If you are struggling with your self-love, I highly recommend going back through my December Aloha perspectives. I did an entire month. Actually, I started the last 2 days in November. Okay, so we went full weeks here. I started on a Monday, which I believe was the 29th of November, and it was an entire month of self-love tools that we can use. Okay, and there are some that are pretty deep in there. Shadow work is not for the faint of heart, but it is absolutely necessary if you are struggling and do not know how to get out of your own way. Okay, it's not always easy. If you are sincerely mentally struggling, and if you are actually in therapy, I do highly recommend you talk to your therapist about this. Okay, so let them help you through it. I had the tools before I started mine, and I do have people around me that understand what I was going through. So I had my own support system, but not everybody has that. So be sure that you do have a good support system, because sometimes you're going to discover things that you've forgotten about yourself or pushed so far down that they sometimes seem like a dream, but were actual things that happened to you. And they can hurt. They can hurt bad. All right. So remember, love yourself first. Why do I keep saying that? Love yourself first. Self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. It does. Self-love, because you start to vibe higher and you have respect for yourself. You're not putting yourself down all the time. In fact, just as another side thought on that one, Tyler Perry had a movie, Why Did I Get Married? Right? And they had this woman whose marriage just totally fell apart. In fact, her best friend, that she thought was her best friend, was actually the one cheating with her, the husband. And it's kind of like, what? And so the table scene, the dinner scene, oh my God, I die every time. That's my favorite part of the movie. More so because of how it ends, like with Angela's character, right? So if you ever see it, just think Angela and table scene, blah, 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 everything just kind of come into an explosive middle, right? It's like the bridge of the movie. And, but Sheila was, she was plus size. He always made fun of her for that, her husband did. And, her best friend was just like, it's typical, right? Those kind of movies. But Sheila ends up falling in love with, she stays where she's at and ends up falling in love with Troy, who's the sheriff of the town. And they start working out. I mean, he just starts walking with her. But he sees her. He sees her. He sees through everything that she can't see through. And finally, he tells her, if you don't like how you look, then change it. But basically, he says to her, when you continually complain about it, it makes me uncomfortable for you. It doesn't make him uncomfortable. It makes him uncomfortable for her, because he can see how much pain she's in, but she just doesn't see herself. I mean, this guy was totally in love with her. He didn't care. And because he saw her, he helped her get to that next level. He took the walks with her. When and you can, I guess you can fill in the blanks of the parts of the movie you don't see, but he just loved her. And when she had that aha moment, I really think that's when the two characters actually fell in love. Because she finally realized, oh my God, I'm not with this person who used to totally throw me under the bus all the time, who used to hurt me left and right and the other, in every which way, and used to bag on her all the time because of her size. But no, now she's found this man who just loves her for who she is, and it helps her to see herself. So that's kind of what I'm saying, right? When you talk about these people that, well, how come, I'm trying to love myself, but how come they get, it's like, because there's more work that you need to do. It just may be that there may be one or two things they can't see about themselves. And sometimes people need that extra help. And sometimes we're meant to take that path alone. I had to take that path alone. I took that path alone. And I'm still working on the body positivity, but I'm telling you, I am also, not working as hard anymore on the self-love, because every day I'm working to see myself. Okay. So, okay, this is getting freaky. I don't know how many people have popped on since I started shuffling these, but Marie and older sibling were on when I shuffled these. Stay optimistic about your love life. I literally was just talking about, this is 2 for 2 now from what I pulled earlier. So stay optimistic. This is awesome. I love when Source just pops in and says, hey, we're going to do this anyways. It feels like validation. Okay, so stay positive. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. When you love yourself or you start on the path to loving yourself, you are going to learn. I know, baby siblings all, what the hell? That's cool. I am totally trying not to get up and just do one of those happy dances on my chair. Okay, well, it's a swivel chair, so I probably fall off. But I am floored right now, you guys. I am sincerely floored right now. But, when you have positive thinking, that's because it comes from self-respect. It comes from your self-love. When you stop putting yourself down 24/7, your vibe is going to change. Okay, whether you choose for it to do so or not, right? Ladina's a wow. I am stunned, guys. I am stunned. I am so super excited because I really feel like this is part of the message before I get to the fun facts, which I'm going to get to, so don't worry. But positive thinking and faith, okay? Positive thinking and faith. When you don't have, okay, now this is my experience. This may not be everybody's experience, but in my journey through self-love, there's one thing I realized I did not have. I did not have trust in anything. There was probably, I trust the people around me, but there was probably just a handful of people I trust with my life. 2 of them are my siblings. 1 of them is my father. And maybe a couple of other people that you just know will be there when you're falling apart. But these 3 people in general are the 3 people that I literally trust with my life. And that was it. Now you notice, I didn't include myself in that. Because of the things that happened to me when I was younger, I lost my ability. I found this out while doing some shadow work this weekend. I lost my ability to trust myself. I actually have written on my arm, you have permission to trust yourself. And the reason I take little Sharpies or I take pens, good pens, you can't just use a fine point pen. You got to use like a regular ballpoint, medium point pen. I put that on there to remind myself. People use rubber bands. Rubber bands don't work for me, okay? If I try to put a rubber band, it usually ends up in my hair, tying it back. But I have to write this stuff on myself. I have tattoos on this side, but I keep this arm clean. And I used to joke that I kept it clean just because I thought, I just want to remember what this arm looked like. But now I realize this is like my whiteboard, okay? This is like my whiteboard with dry erase markers. And over time, it comes off. I don't scrub it off when I shower. I let it just come off on its own. I wash myself, obviously. But I don't purposely sit there and try to scrub it off because these are messages that I need to remember. And then when I falter a little bit, I will put it on there again. That's why these 2 cards go together. Love yourself first. Stay optimistic about your love life. I know it can be hard. It can be so hard. I literally, these last couple of days had more of an age crisis. Like, who would fall in love with someone my age? Right? Never been married, never had kids. They might think, whoa, what's wrong with you? But you know what? I have faith that at some point it is going to happen for me. And I have to get out of my own way. I have to trust that I am exactly where I'm at. I made peace with a lot of things that hurt me last week. I'm going to talk about those more on Wednesday, but I will give you a little teaser on that, because I decided that I need to get better because I didn't want to be bitter anymore. And I will also say that I decided that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be with the things that have happened to me throughout my life, and that I'm here now to put my story out there, to help others, to show others that it doesn't matter how old you are. Life isn't over until you literally breathe your last breath. Okay? So don't give up on yourself. And when it does come to love, especially your self-love, remember, stay optimistic about your love life. If you keep pining away, you are not going to find what you want, because you're pushing that all away. But when you start living your life, and baby sibling has told me this all the time, you just got to get out there and start living your life. You got to not focus on, trying to be a part of something so much. You just have to let it happen. That's always been hard because of my control issues, because of the way I wanted things to happen, because of the way I thought things should have already happened. Now, again, I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I did a lot of work this last weekend just to get there. Yesterday morning, I woke up to watch men's Olympic hockey. I ended up journaling for 2 hours and just listening to it. Okay? And there you go. Ladina says she's a work in progress with self-love. I will tell you this. The most important part of self-love is to stop fighting it. That was my biggest issue. I've been working on self-love and talking about this, guys, since the beginning of beginning of all these videos, when we used to be the Daily Vibe. Me. When I used to be the Daily Vibe, and now it's the Aloha Perspective. But my self-love has been going on even before that. So we're talking years now. And the biggest obstacle I found was myself. I was resisting the idea that I deserve to be loved. And more importantly, I was resisting the idea that I deserved to love myself. And that was very, very hard. And there was a lot of tears when that came, because I realized I didn't love myself. I was trying so hard to make me a person that somebody else would love, that I kept forgetting to make me the person that I want to love. All the good bits of me are still in there. The only thing I'm changing about myself is that I'm trying to be more positive and less negative. I'm trying to say less mean things about myself. So, oh my God. New love. All three of the cards that I literally told you about at the beginning of this perspective have all shown up with a fourth one. Pay attention to the red flags, which we'll get to in a second. The signs are cautioning you. Now, I actually pulled pay attention to the red flags before I found new love. All right, so I do want to cover this one first, and I'm actually going to read pay attention to the red flags, because I don't want anyone to miss anything on this one. But I have to tell you, I am 100% floored that all three of the cards that I talked about literally came back out. Which means this is truly the message I know I was meant to send this weekend. These cards have been sitting out since last Thursday. This morning, I put them back in the deck. As you saw, if you're watching on the replay, I shuffled, and just kind of randomly pulled out cards from the top. They look like this to me. They didn't look like this to me. And in fact, I almost didn't pull some again, but 2 more cards came out, and I'm assuming they're these 2. So this is what I'm trying to say. Don't worry about where the message is coming from. Focus on the message, because it is Valentine's. There are a lot of people out there who are just thinking, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I just have a bottle of wine in me, and I might go buy me some. I love white wine. I might go buy some today, because today is the first time on Valentine's where I haven't felt that pang of sadness. I haven't felt that pang of loneliness. And I think it's because I'm starting to see myself. I'm starting to love myself. I'm starting to realize I am enough. And that whatever happens in my life from, that moment when I'm fully, firmly planted in that place of I am enough, it's going to be a bonus. It's going to be this beautiful bonus where it's just like, even in the middle of winter, the daisies are popping up from underneath the ground, I love Gerber daisies, but just stuff like that, right? Where the sun is always shining, even when it's not. Those are the bonuses. And I'm getting so close to being in that place where I know I am enough, and it doesn't matter who I end up with in life, because I know that when two people come together, okay, there's always going to be something that you're going to help each other with. Maybe it's trust issues, maybe it's communication issues, or maybe sometimes you just get over them so fast and you both just head off into the sunset together, and everyone says that's not possible. I have seen people like that. So I know it's possible. Who, when they start to argue, they just, they literally discuss it. They don't fight. And they're open. They have that communication. And a lot of times, I think those are the most well-adjusted people sometimes. Maybe not in everyday things. I mean, none of us are perfect, right? But when two people know that they are enough, no matter what baggage they bring with them, they know that they can get through it because they have that trust, they have that communication. Okay, so let's go with pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. The angels send you this card to help you notice the unhealthy or disconcerting parts of your relationship. If you were swept up in a new romance, this card serves as a cautionary warning. Pay attention to your feelings and impressions with regards to your new suitor. Don't allow emotion to blind you to characteristics or habits that won't work for you in a relationship. A red flag is a sign that something is off. It can include an indication of dishonesty, disrespect, flirtatiousness with others, substance abuse, or lack of integrity. While your new love interest may treat you wonderfully well in the beginning of your relationship, it's vital that you watch how he or she treats others. Someone's basic character is revealed by the way in which he or she talks and acts with restaurant staff, valet parking attendants, and other miscellaneous individuals. If you're in an existing relationship, these red flags may signal a need for an honest mutual discussion or couples counseling. This card doesn't necessarily guide you to leave a relationship. Red flags can be markers along the path of healing. The romance angels will guide you to take steps that are healthy for everyone involved, so do follow your intuition. Hands down, I think the reason this one came up is that sometimes when you feel that euphoria of having that self-love and that excitement, and the first person that pays attention to you, you take the bait, right? That can be a big thing because you're so used to being this one person that when someone pays attention to you, you're kind of like, they're the one. And who knows? They might be in the long run. What this card is just saying is proceed cautiously, okay? If someone pays attention to you, but you're just kind of, you have that little feeling that's tugging at you saying, just because they're looking at you doesn't mean they're good news. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, okay? But just use caution, all right? So I think that's what they're saying. Pay attention to the red flags. It's okay to pay attention to the red flags, but when it comes to romance and all that other stuff. So now to the third card. I'm dying here, guys. I wanted to make this a Valentine's episode for the Aloha perspective because I thought it would be fun. I would share some fun facts. And then all of a sudden in my head, while I was meditating, I heard Source say to me, or, my whatever, all my beliefs are across the board. Someone said to me, use the cards that, or put the cards back in the deck that you pulled for yourself. And I truly believe that this is validation because what I have written in my book was, I pulled these three cards, pull 3 cards, and when reversed, they feel like the perfect formula. The way I pulled them up was new love, stay optimistic about your love life, and love yourself first. Older sibling and baby sibling, and like I said, everybody who watches this on the replay, saw me Shuffle these. This is all I could see. Those 3 cards reappeared. But interestingly enough, when I first saw them, they were reversed. And then it dawned on me, and I put them in order. And to me, I put, in my personal opinion, they're the perfect formula for finding, for finding love, period. Not just your self-love, but maybe a romantic love, right? So I said, in my humble opinion, because you're learning to love yourself, and that creates trust and a higher vibe, which attracts people. Now, what I find interesting, though, is that this time, these cards came up in order. Or not, sorry, I didn't put them back in order, but they came up with love yourself first, self-love, right? Self-respect. Stay optimistic about your love life. When you start to love yourself first, and you start to have that self-respect and that self-love and that trust in yourself, okay? When you learn to trust yourself, you learn to trust other people, because you learn to trust your spidey instincts, right? That gut intuition, that gut instinct. But when you love yourself first, stay optimistic about your love life, because positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay? Believe and trust that whoever your higher power is, whatever your source is, they know what they're doing. Stop trying to control it all. But then we got the card, pay attention to the red flags. So if you're having issues or you're having problems, talk to somebody about it. Okay, talk to your partner about it. Say, hey, maybe we need to go through this stuff. We need to talk. We need to sit down and have a powwow. A heart-to-heart powwow. Because that's important, right? Communication is important, and trust is important. And it's hard to have those things. But then all of a sudden, we get new love. And new love says, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Okay, I don't know about that. But, but just forgetting about the bottom part. These things, when you love yourself, when you stay optimistic about your love life, you can attract new love, because you are doing the positive thinking. You are doing the things that you need to do to vibe higher and to make yourself more, I don't want to say presentable to the world, but more emotionally presentable to the world. Say you're in a situation where somebody starts talking to you and you're just like, oh my God, someone's paying attention to me. And you might freak out a little, and sometimes they'll notice it, but they don't care. They still talk to you, because now they're trying to break down your walls, right? They're trying to put you back in your comfort zone a little bit and just, start up a conversation. But then you might start talking badly about yourself. You might start saying terrible things about yourself, or maybe you jump the gun and say, oh my God, let's get married. Okay, you literally met this person like 5 minutes ago. Give it a day. All right. Just read the room, guys. Read the room. If it feels right, you know it, but read the room. But in those first few moments, it is like you are a salesperson, okay? And you are trying to sell yourself. Isn't it easier to, I don't mean like prostitute yourself either, okay? I don't know. These stupid thoughts run through my head. Isn't it easier to show somebody a person who has this self-love, who is on the path of self-love, who is on the path of feeling like they are enough? If you are reaching these points where you are finally learning how to accept, I am enough, or, I have self-love, look back and see how far you've come. Okay? My mom's favorite saying to me was, don't look back, you're not going that way. Older sibling kind of threw one at me that says, the only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. I like the two of them. Don't look back because you're not going that way. But if you are in this place where you are stuck and you are feeling like, oh God, I'm still the lamest person on earth. Why, you might be having just one of those days, one of those mental breakdown days, right? Take that time to look back and see where you were just a few months ago. I was not in the place I'm at now mentally a few months ago. A few months ago, I was dreading the holidays. I was dreading my birthday. I was dreading my mom's birthday. I was dreading Valentines, because all these things are supposed to be joyful and happy and celebratory. And I just kept thinking, I'm alone. And then I thought, but now, after the work I've done over the last few months, in the Floof book, Floof 1.0 and 2.0, and even just the shadow work I've done this weekend. Like I said, I spent 2 hours journaling yesterday in the Floof notebook, where I actually took Valentine's notes. And I came out the other side of that thinking, wow. And one of the main things I thought was, I have come a long way. And what I realized during all of that was, it took me 2 hours to realize I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself because I lost trust in myself years ago when I was a child. Then I lost more trust in myself when I talked about some of the things that I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. We're going to kind of revisit last Wednesday, but hopefully with less ugly crying and tears. But it's kind of like the follow-up. Okay, so just remember, I'm still floored and stunned, you guys. The cards that came up, I am so giddy and tickled that they came up for you. They initially came up for me on Thursday. I feel validated by them today. But they came up for you who are watching. When you love yourself first, it helps you to stay optimistic about your love life, because you start to realize that, yes, I do deserve someone special in my life. And keep an open mind, okay? Keep an open mind about who they are. Don't put the picture and the vision of who you want out there, because you don't know who's going to come to you. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you know already, and that's okay. Maybe you know, but you've never met the person. I don't know. Anything can happen. Or maybe you know and you met the person once or twice. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But the more you try to control it, which that's what I have found, the more you try to control what happens in your life, the harder you're making the flow to happen. Because you're literally putting up little beaver dams everywhere. And no, that is not trying to be subtle. Okay, because I'm talking to men and women. Oh, I know. I just said it, didn't I? Anyways, humor. If you don't have humor, what do you have? But I think what it's basically saying is that, when you get cards like this, when you get these cards, look at the one I picked up. It's just telling you that just trust the process. All right? Trust the process. Trust yourself first, and trust yourself, because I'm going to repeat this on Wednesday, but even when you think you've made a bad decision, there are no wrong decisions. There are no right ones. There are no wrong ones. They're the ones that are meant to set you on your path. Look at them as a lesson. Okay? Look at them as a growing tool, a stepping stone in your life, or on the ladder of your life. Look at these decisions that you've made as being a part of your path. Don't shame yourself. Don't guilt yourself. If, maybe you went through these things or had these decisions because you might meet someone down the road after you've healed from them that may need that guidance that you once needed and never got. Now it's your chance to step up and help somebody else. So don't shame yourself over your decisions. Sometimes we may think we make bad decisions, but a lot of times I think it's just, the path that we're on. So a lot of bad things have happened to me in my life. I felt like I made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but now I'm using it to help other people. And so now they don't feel so bad anymore. They feel like they are tools that are in my particular toolbox. And, they're meant to help others now. Or what was that line in Take In? I have a specific set of skills. I have a very specific set of skills. So anyways, let's do some fun facts about Valentine's Day. No surprise, Americans send around 145 million Valentine's Day cards each year. That's just here. We are not the only ones who celebrate this holiday. But you figure, when you think if people have family like siblings, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, however your friends, right? So, Cupid is not just a cutesy cherub. I actually knew this one, but yeah, Cupid is not just a cutesy cherub shooting arrows. He's a Roman god of love, the Roman god of love. All right. So I got some of these fun facts from history.com, and I think it's actually a part, just judging by the logo, it looks like it's part of the History Channel. Which is where I love to live sometimes because I love history. In ancient Roman times, Valentine was a popular name, and St. Valentine acts of martyrdom were not uncommon. At one point, Emperor Claudius II made it illegal for Roman soldiers to marry. Now, there was a Roman priest at the time who thought, screw you, dude, that's just wrong, okay? Because you think that making them focus is just going to do that. So there was a Roman Catholic priest who actually named Valentine, who continued marrying these Roman soldiers. Now, there's two stories that end up intersecting about a Roman bishop and a Roman priest. So some people think they're one and the same. Nobody really knows. It's hard to go back that far because, I don't know. I'm sure somebody can if they took the time, but they probably think, yeah, whatever. So, there was also, they say that the more common foundation of Valentine's Day, may actually be from Chaucer's poem, The Parliament of Fowls. Now, fowls as in the birds. Fowls. LS. FOWW. Oh my god, I can't talk. The bird fowls. Okay? Not sporting fowls, bird fowls. So anyways, it says he wrote The Parliament of Fowls, which contained the line, "For this was on St. Valentine's Day, when every bird comes there to choose his mate." And they say that a lot of people in the 14th century were actually, or no, the 1400s were inspired. This poem inspired the nobles of the 1400s to start writing poems to their love intentions. So there was that. Then there is, I'm proud of this one. Okay, anybody who knows me knows why I'm going to be proud of this one. So back in the way back 19th century, John Cadbury started his company, which was basically coffee and teas. Okay, and chocolate was just kind of like a side thing. So I don't have the full history on this. I'm going to post the video. It will give you a little bit better of a history of everything that I'm sharing with you here. Okay, it's like a Cliff Notes version of it, but it will give you, if it's something you're interested in, enough of a prompt to go Google it yourself. But he started that company, but later it was his son his son Robert Cadbury, who decided, I'm going to stick this stuff in a box and sell it. We're going to sell the chocolates, because they had like the bonbons. They had all the stuff that goes with the coffees and the teas, right? Like the bonbons, the nuggets, all the, oh my God, I'm totally making myself crave stuff now, because Cadbury, I'm sorry, that is my favorite chocolate in the entire freaking world. Ghirardelli is the next. I know, there's all these fancy chocolates out there, right? But those are my two favorites. So, and if you live in America, I'm going to tell you this now. If you buy Cadbury chocolate here, you have to check where it comes from. If it has the Hershey logo on it, I do not buy it. Sorry, Hershey's is not a bad company, but I will not buy it. Because Cadbury is from overseas. It's from England, it's from Ireland, it's from all these other places. Okay? In the UK. That is the original, traditional Cadbury. That's the only kind I'll eat, which is a bitch to find, which is why I always have to find a British store to get it from. However, that's my own little thing. However, Robert Cadbury thought, I'm going to put chocolates in a heart-shaped box and sell them. Now, the reason he put them in a heart-shaped box, and I feel very, very validated by this, because I have gotten Valentine's candy from my dad. After my last boyfriend, my dad started sending me stuff every year for Valentine's. It's funny, I just got a text. He hasn't been feeling well, so no flowers this year. But good morning, Shannon. However, the whole idea of putting the chocolates in the box, which kind of became a thing no matter what holiday or what, even if it was just a box of chocolate for no reason. The original reason Robert Cadbury decided he wanted to put these things in a heart-shaped box was so the women who received these boxes, or whoever, could keep their memories in this box. They look like a nice box. They look like red velvet boxes. But it was a keepsake box. So it wasn't just eat the chocolates, toss it away, right? No. It was eat the chocolates, put the memories in there. Maybe your love notes from a sweetheart. Or maybe you got something from your parents and wanted to press a flower in it. It was meant as a keepsake box. So that was pretty fun. I will, again, like I said, I will post those links. Now, here's my favorite one. Okay. And I'm saying it's my favorite because I had total giggle fest while writing this down. There was a pagan holiday called Lupercalia. Now, I just learned that today. Okay, I just learned this today. I also learned today, I always thought the Ides of March, which I believe is Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, right? Beware the Ides of March. I always thought the Ides of March just landed on the 15th because it's 15th, right? Maybe, just a bad day. Apparently, Ides is 15. I don't know that for a fact, but when I'm reading it here, it actually said February 15th, the Ides of February. So I'm like, okay, I'm starting to put all this together slowly in my brain because, I am smart but stupid at the same time. And no, that's not a put down. It's just I'm delightfully dumb sometimes. And, but the best part about that is it means I'm always learning, and I love learning new stuff. So Lupercalia was a pagan celebration that was founded by, or dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, but started by the Roman founders Romulus and Remus. Okay, so see, this stuff goes back way back, but the whole celebration it's a fertility celebration. So not just, for the animals and for the agriculture to grow, but for the women. And apparently in this video that I'm going to post, they used to spank the women with goat hides. That's a little 50 Shades to me. But I want to go on a side note here. Okay. The reason I want to bring that up is a lot of times we look down on people and the things that bring them joy. This is why I tell people, stay in your own lane. Okay? I mean, sometimes I think that a lot of times we giggle or stuff like that because there's a curiosity there. But then I think there's a shame, like, oh my God, that's not right. Shouldn't be done. Hey, you know what? Never tried it, but like my mother would always say about food, don't knock it till you try it. Okay? So let's not judge other people. Because apparently these things that we like to judge people for go way back. I mean, we're talking centuries. More than just centuries. We're talking millennia now. We're in the millennia point at this point. But I found it interesting. And I'm not lying. I giggled. I'm still giggling. But they book that particular. So technically, I guess tomorrow would be Lupercalia because it is the 15th of February. But they believe that Christians wanted to Christianize this particular holiday and get rid of the pagan part of it. So they feel that's why they put Valentines in the center of the month on the 14th. So whether that's true or not, it's up to you to decide. But that actually occurred, let's see, but some people also believe that it was to commemorate St. Valentine's death in 270 AD. 270 AD. Okay, that was a long time ago. But God, that's almost 2,000 years ago. Sorry, there goes my brain. But yeah. I mean, across the board, these were some of my favorite fun facts. I just absolutely loved it. I mean, the Valentine's cards I had to put in there because there was a point when they talked about in this video about sending vinegars or vinegars, I think it was, which is like basically trolling in the 18th or the 19th and early 20th century. But then they started making cards for these things. And so then Hallmark jumped on and decided, hey, Valentine's, let's start making. So yeah, that's why people call it a Hallmark holiday. Hallmark actually did start the card part. Okay, but Cadbury, the pagans, the early Christians, the early, St. Valentines of the day who perform these secret marriages, they're the ones who, or even Chaucer, can't forget Chaucer, don't leave out the poet, right? But even Chaucer, all these people were laying the foundation for what we know as Valentine's today. And I just find it all fascinating. Like I said, if you are watching the replay on this later, I am going to actually go into the comments on the YouTube page. So if you are watching through a Twitter link, go into the YouTube comments. I am going to put all of these links in there so that you can actually see these things, read these things, and look at these things all yourself, okay? One of the links I'm going to put actually links to all these other things, all these other links, but I will put all three of them in separately just for ease. So, oh, good. Shannon just said they told me Ides meant the 15th in high school, so I think you're right. We didn't learn that, but I'm older than her. So, you know, there's stuff that ends up in history books that's kind of like, seriously? Why didn't I learn this stuff? But, or maybe it was the day I wasn't paying attention. It's very possible. It is very possible it was the day I wasn't paying attention. So, whatever it is, I'm grateful. Now I know the Ides are the 15th. All right, so if you're born on the 15th, just say, hey, I was born in the Ides of whatever month you were born in. Because that would make it more fun and more mysterious. Yeah? Yeah. So, oh, it was her English lit teacher. That's why. Okay, so seriously, I took English lit in high school. I must not have been paying attention that day. We did a lot of Shakespeare and Chaucer there. I had to, believe it or not, and I'm going to share this on the side because I was very, very proud of myself. I had to memorize for my English lit midterm. Our teacher wanted us to cite different parts of the Canterbury Tales, which ironically, I actually live on Canterbury Court now. And my little kitties, I call them the Canterbury Tales, but with an A-I-L-S. See, Geoffrey Chaucer lives, or Jeffrey, whatever, Chaucer lives on. Chaucer lives on. So, I had to recite like a page worth of the Canterbury Tales. But, yeah, clearly not the day I was paying attention. So, you learn something new every day. You know, so remember, it doesn't matter how old you are. You will always learn something every day if you keep your mind open. But just to finish this off, guys, most importantly, okay, the 3 cards that came up this morning that I spent a lot more time on than I thought I was going to, which actually ended up being the almost complete subject of all of this, are what I want you to focus on, okay? If you are single, if you are feeling like the world is just not fair to you and this, that, or the other, you need to learn yourself, love yourself first, okay? I know the world is sometimes going to feel like it is sitting on your shoulders, like it is trying to push you down or push you underwater and drown you. But you are strong. I am telling you this now. You are strong. You know, as a single woman, okay, and I'm only saying that because it's Valentine's. I'm not trying to say it for any other reason. There are times when I mention it in the perspective from a standpoint of healing and whatnot. But the reason I'm mentioning it today is because when I'm done with this, it's still going to be Valentine's Day. You can look at it as just being the 14th. No one's going to fault you for that. But if you have other people that you know that don't have a significant other to spend with, or maybe their significant other's out of town, or maybe someone has lost somebody, they might be grieving, reach out to them. You know, spend it with them. Have a fun day. Go out and do stuff. You know, I will tell you this. Most of the married couples I know actually don't celebrate Valentine's on Valentine's. They will celebrate it on the 13th or the 15th because they all know that everybody who's new to Valentine's and relationships are probably out tonight. Or they just make dinner at home, have fun with their kids, do Valentine's. Baby sibling is taking her boys for a sunset picnic. I think that's amazing. You know, I'm going to see if I can force older sibling out of the house. This is a fun fact for LA. So congratulations to the LA Rams. That's my second favorite team. Legit. Okay, I grew up with them right behind the San Diego Chargers. Chargers are always my number one. But congratulations to the LA Rams. And just as a side note, the Bengals, look out for them. I'm worried because my Chargers are in the same conference as the Bengals, so that could not be that could be bad for my team. But that is a team to look out for in the future, okay? Because I want to be fair to both teams. However, they are turning the Hollywood sign for 2 or 3 days to say Rams House. So I'm kind of excited and I kind of want to see that. But Shannon says we don't. Andrew waits until tomorrow when everything is half off. Hey, ladies, gentlemen, if you are single and you hate Valentine's, that's my favorite day, the 15th. Even when I had boyfriends who just pretty much forgot it was Valentine's Day, the 15th is always half off chocolate day. Because I gotta get rid of all the hearts. And now you know. Save the hearts. Put stuff in there. It doesn't have to be romantic stuff. You could put your fur baby pictures in there. You could put little things that have happened to you over the year that really kind of made your heart smile throughout the year. You know, just memories. Baby sibling that they said they also did this with when Brian was alive. The four of them would go out and have picnics. So see, there's so many beautiful things you can do. Okay, the only thing I don't want you to do is to sit at home and feel sorry for yourself. All right, today I am not letting you do that, because that can be a slippery slope for a lot of people. If you have to, start practicing your shadow work. Love yourself first. Stay optimistic about your love life, because your vibe will start getting higher. And when your vibe starts to get higher, keep your mind open. Okay, keep your mind open. I'm going to finish this off with a quick story about my favorite couple in the whole wide world. My parents. My father was on leave. My father was in the army a bazillion years ago. My father was on leave, and his brother felt bad because, you know, he wanted to spend a day with his brother. He was the second oldest. And I don't know if he and his wife were married at the time, but his wife just happened to be my mom's best friend since childhood. Okay, so my Auntie Alicia. All right, and I'm not sure if she was married to my Uncle Glenn yet or just dating him, but this is how Source and the universe works. So my auntie and uncle, their marriage didn't last. However, they thought, well, hey, since your brother's in town, I'm going to get my best friend, and, you know, we'll just set them up for the night. Or, you know, not the night, but, but what I'm saying is, you know, just a couple's date, right? So it was a blind date, basically. My parents were married for 47 years. 47 years. My mom was able to pull out that last year before she passed away, that September. But my parents were married for 47 years. They got married the year after they met. And almost to the day, every year on June 10th, my mother would just get all giddy and say, this is the day your father and I met. And I still say they took a hot minute to have me. I mean, it took 6 years. It took 6 years for me to come on. Seriously? What were you guys doing? But my dad was in the army too. So there were a couple tours of Vietnam in there. But yeah, you all know how old I am. So throwing out historical times just doesn't seem to matter anymore. But yeah, there were times when there were ups and downs. But but my parents' good times outnumbered their bad times, and they made it. They had a very long, loving relationship. They were truly what I would believe soulmates are, and they made each other better, I think. You know, I don't like to say that, that they make me a better person. My parents were always who they were, but as a couple, I think they made each other, but they showed other people that anything was possible. I mean, I was about 6 or 7 before I realized what my parents' names were, because I kid you not, and you can ask any of my family friends or family members or even my friends, my parents called each other love. Love, period. Hey, love. Hey, love. The only time they would call each other by their name is when they were trying to get their attention with a group of people, like, hey, Edmund. My mom would actually call my dad Luke, because my last name's Lucas. So she would just shorten that down. It's like, hey, Luke. But my dad would call my mom, you know, but usually it was love, 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 Ellen. So, you know, it was that stuff. So, you know, oh, look, my tag came out. So you just got to kind of hang in there, right? Oh, Ladina, I'm so sorry. And, yeah, he's a cousin, but I'm so sorry. But, you know, this is where self-love comes in. Go do something for yourself. Go buy yourself something. Seriously. And if anybody asks if they can have any of it, no. I bought it for myself for Valentine's Day. All right? That's how that works. I'm probably going to go out and find a store and buy me some Cadbury today because I can. So anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. This actually ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be, but I'll be honest with you, I'm still floored by that card pull, because, wow. I mean, if you look in the early comments, you can see baby sibling was even like, whoa. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Whatever the true origins of Valentine's Day is, here's the truth of it all. It's going to come around every year. And we can choose to be better or we can choose to be bitter. I told you guys on Thursday, this is going to be my new saying for a while because it helps me. But we can choose to be better or we can choose to be bitter. The choice is yours. I would choose better because even if better isn't that much better than bitter, I know there's a tongue twister, it's still better than being bitter, because when you're bitter, that again, that's a slippery slope. That can go to bad places. That can lead into spirals for some people, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Oscar Wilde had a great quote. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong relationship. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I have to find it again. That is one of my favorite quotes, but whenever I try to actually spit it out of my mouth, it comes out wrong. But it's basically that. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong relationship. And I actually may have gotten that right. It just doesn't sound right. But that was Oscar Wilde. And I think somebody from basically the 19th century, early 20th, I believe, but definitely the late 19th century. For someone that long ago to be that profound in thinking, whether it was from a book or just a quote of his own, that says a lot, because that's self-love. That is self-love in a nutshell. We have to learn to love ourselves. And when we learn to love ourselves, it makes it easier to trust and love others. Okay? So, again, one last time, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I will see you here tomorrow for Tuesday Thoughts, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook Live. It is public if you want to watch. You can find it under Shelly Marie Lucas. That's my full name. And like I said, I do make these public so anybody can watch them. Or you can catch the replay on YouTube, usually up by noon on Pacific Standard Time. And I do post these links to Twitter under GoalieFan1973 and Shellbell's Quest. Shellbell's Quest is actually the account I use mostly for my mental health, okay? GoalieFan is just, that's been years, like 12 years of me just being delightfully awkward, stupid, and, sometimes political or soapboxy. I should say soapboxy more than anything else. But yeah, you can find all those things there. If you do go to YouTube, feel free to click and subscribe, and then you'll know whenever I post one of these amazing things. I'll pat myself on the back. I know, terrible, but I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day, and happy Valentines to all of you out there. Okay, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.